What's up? Welcome back to my channel. Now in today's video, I'm going to cover how to work ergonomically from home. And ergonomics is defined as workplace efficiency and comfort. So a lot of times we do the work from home thing and over time we just start feeling sore all over the body. And what actually inspired this video is because I actually had a friend, checked up on him, and he said like he's had some neck pains and so on. I was like, hey, what's up, bro? Why do you have neck pain? And then he's like, I'm guessing because I work on my laptop all the time. So today I'm going to show you how I do the whole ergonomics thing from home because I've been doing it for a long time, over 10 years, doing my PhD and also doing the whole coaching YouTube thing from, pretty much working from home since forever. So in this video, I'm going to give you 7 tips on how to work ergonomically from home. So tip number 1, very simple, right? Make sure everything is at your right height. So I'm going to quickly move over here in terms of the camera. So if you look at this video right now, pretty much my head is directly in line with my screen. Now this is a TV monitor, so the refresh rate isn't optimal, but I like the size. Right now I have something that's basically I can turn it into a stand-up desk. So I have these latches on the side. I'll show you later on when I actually use it. Essentially what this thing does is it forces you to be in the right position. Now I have a laptop here. I'm going to move my mic so you can see my laptop. I have my laptop here, and as you can see, it's actually on a stand as well. And I want to move this thing over so you can see a little bit more clearly. I recently switched to from my Mac Mini to a laptop, so that's why there's another monitor behind there. But essentially, what this stand does is it allows me to look at my monitor, my laptop monitor, as a second monitor so that my neck is not like looking down all the time. Because what happens if you look down all the time is essentially you're gonna eventually put a lot of stress on your neck. It's the same thing as holding your cell phone all the time and looking at your cell phone all the time. You're gonna feel that neck pain, right? So definitely you don't want to do that. So that's the first tip. Make sure everything's at the right eye level. Now the second tip is to make sure the keyboard height is correct. Another thing with the laptop is, since we're on the topic of laptops, is that if I have my laptop here, I'm going to be typing at this level. I'm going to be looking like this, right? Over time, what you can see is my arm is actually not in a natural relaxed position. In fact, it's, my shoulder is slightly up. And so what you have to do, and that's why we have these keyboard, I don't know what these keyboard drawers, what are these things called? Keyboard tray. So what we have are keyboard trays, and I got this keyboard tray off of Amazon, and you can see there's a little, basically, you can see there's this little latch here. I can just latch onto the desk, and pretty much it allows me to have a keyboard tray so that I could put my arms here, and I'm gonna adjust here. So I could put my arms here and essentially have it more or less at 90 degrees in a relaxed position. Mouse pad, trackpad also here. And that's another thing with the laptops is that if you have a trackpad that's always in the middle, what you're gonna do is you're always gonna be twisting your right arm or left arm, depending on which arm is your strong arm. But essentially as you push it over time, you're gonna create, if you look at my back, you're gonna create this, right? And it's going to cause a lot of strain on your back as well. That's why for me, since I'm right-handed, I have my trackpad on the right side, so I'm just clicking away like this. I type like this. Pretty straightforward. So making sure your arms are at the right place, it's going to put less strain on your shoulders, and that's very important. Now the third tip is actually your feet. And a lot of times people don't really think about their feet so much because it's their feet and their everything, all the actions going on up here, right? Your feet's not as important, but that's not true. So if you look down here, you're gonna see my printer, right, which I keep on the floor, and some trash as well. But essentially I have a footrest, right? And this is a nice fancy Kensington footrest, which has, if you look here, I can adjust the height on this, and pretty much I just loosen it and I adjust accordingly. And this one's got nice padding, so my foot is nice and comfortable. And basically, if you're looking at my feet, boom, put it there, nice and relaxed, it's all good. If I don't use this thing, my legs are gonna be dangling, and it might be because I'm a short Asian and I'm like 5'7", 5'8" on a good day. And so it'll be like that, and over time, my back's just gonna slowly slide down. And over time, it's just not gonna be good for your posture, right? And that's why you have this thing, prop yourself up, and your back is gonna be nice and secure so that you can sit on tip number 4, which is essentially have a chair, a real office chair that offers nice lumbar support. So I get this from Shoppers Drug Mart, and essentially what this is nice cushion, some nice lumbar support, and just extra stuff, extra cushioning, so that I could be relatively well when I'm sitting, right? So you put all this together, it adds up, right? My feet's gonna be nice, 90 degrees. My caboose is gonna be sitting on a chair that's offering support. I get to lean back. There's some more extra cushioning on the back. My arms, pull this out, is gonna be nice and straight, more or less 90 degrees, right? It could be a little higher, I guess. And my head is gonna be looking straight into the monitor. If I need to use my second monitor, just turn it this way a little bit and it's there, right? So overall, that will keep everything in the right position. Now, comfort is not only about your form though. There's also that bit about sensory fatigue, which is tip number 5. I'm going to talk about each of the senses now. And I'm going to pull you guys back a little closer to where I am. So in terms of the senses, there's several that's active all the time. Number 1 are the eyes, and the eyes, super important. You have eye fatigue, right? And there's several things that I do to make sure my eyes stay fresh, or at least they don't get too tired. Number 1, definitely have some eye drops ready. I'm in Canada, so things can get really dry, right? Right now, if I open the blinds, it's a daytime, but I close the blinds because I don't want too much sunlight to be bothering my eyes, right? All the UV rays and so on would add up. So having eye drops would definitely help, especially if you got dry eyes. Now, the second bit is I use blue ray blockers, especially when my eyes get tired. So these are called the classic day Swannies, right? And the brand Swanwick, but Swannies is the intimate way of calling it, I guess. But basically, put them on, and you can tell there's an orange hue, and it blocks the blue light. And so that keeps my eyes fresh as well. You also have to make sure that the lighting is appropriate. Right now I have my YouTube lights on, so it's really bright. It's for your viewing comfort. But if I turn it off, I generally have a nice chill environment, not too bright and not too dark, just comfortable, right? And for your eyes, I would generally recommend something called a 20-20-20 rule, which means for every 20 minutes of looking at a monitor, spend 20 seconds looking at something 20 feet away. So once in a while, what I'll do is open this up, look at the house across the street, so that the eyes aren't always focused on one focal point. So you want to look further, your eyes have to relax more so that it lets more light in. If you want to look at something close, you have to focus a little more and tighten the muscles more so that you could, look at things closer. That's why you put something here. It puts actually a lot of strain on your eyes. Now, the next thing about your senses is sound. And for me, because I work from home and my kids are also at home a lot and they make noises as kids do, number 1, sometimes I turn on music on here and it's nice and quiet, not too loud. You don't want to have too much sensory overload. Back when I was doing music mixing, one of the things that my teacher taught me was when you mix, actually do not listen to music too loud, because what it will cause is aural fatigue. Aural spelled as an A-U-R-A-L, which is your ears. Because if it's tired, you're not going to pick up all the details and so on, and you're just tired, right? Another thing that I do is I have these Bose Quiet Comfort. I don't know the number of this, probably 35 or 25 or whatever it is, but basically it blocks out my kids. Now, on top of that, there's also your overall physical comfort, right? So in Canada, I make sure that in the winters, the heat is on. I have an extra heater in the room because this room can get pretty cold. And in the summers, I have an extra fan. In the winters, I also make sure I have lip balm so my lips don't get too chapped, because this is a pretty dry and cold area. And also, I have lotion available, and it's somewhere. On top of that, I also stay hydrated. I always have 1 or 2 of these around just at my desk, and it's always filled up. because I like to drink water, and water is good for you. Most of us aren't hydrated enough. So having a constant supply of water is gonna do amazing things for your health, right? Now this brings us to the next tip, which is tip number 6, right? And tip number 6 is, well, the water serves another function. It also makes you go to the washroom all the time, right? So if I'm on these calls or if I'm working and I'm drinking water all the time, what happens is that I need to stand up and go to the loo. And of course, you can have your Apple Watch and it'll give you that tap and tell you to stand up. It's been an hour. Always get up within an hour to walk around or whatnot before sitting down again, right? So I can either have my watch do that, or my water bottle and my constant drinking of water will do that as well. And so as a result, I will get up, right? And another thing is you can have a stand-up desk, but the thing with stand-up desks is that you can't stand up for too long. A lot of people think that if I get a stand-up desk, it's gonna solve all my problems. It won't, because your feet will get tired from standing for too long as well. Some people get some mats so that they stand up and it's a little bit more comfortable. I don't find it to work particularly well. I always end up sitting. But if I am to stand up, then simply I stand up and I can have these latches on the side, lift it up, and there you go, right? And of course I gotta move my keyboard up here so that I can do things standing up. And I got this before the whole digital electric table thing was really popular and, you know, really accessible on IKEA and stuff. But yeah, but it works. I don't need to throw out this desk. Because I love Gaia and I love Mother Nature, so I don't want to cut more trees down and whatever. But yeah, this will allow me to stand up as well. So tip number 6 is basically adding a variety in your routine so that you're not stuck on your chair all the time. Get up, go to the loo. Water is a good way of doing that, and perhaps adding a stand-up desk as well. Now, the last and final thing I want to add is really work on exercises that's gonna be good for your overall posture. And you don't have to be a gym bro, you don't have to do bro splits, and you don't need to like spend tons of hours at the gym. But the 7th and final tip really is to work on the muscles that really give you the pain, right? Now, and in my own journey, while I was studying my PhD, my body was falling apart. I was in my late 20s, early 30s when I started, and my body was falling apart at that time because it's just too much. I don't exercise enough right at that time. So I started hitting the gym, and the thing that I started to do that really made a huge difference for me was the 5x5. Basically 5 exercises where you do 5 sets and 5 reps each time. And so the 5x5 are basically the following, right? There's deadlifts, squats, barbell rows, there's bench presses, and there's overhead presses. And basically these are all compound exercises that activate pretty much, if you do them all properly, and the keyword is properly, basically all your muscles will be activated and you'll be strengthened. You don't need to do too much to just live a regular healthy life and not have back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain from working in the office. And essentially what I did was, I basically did the 5x5, and everything's staying together. I'm almost 40. I still play basketball with 20-something-year-olds, and it's not a problem. The main thing is you really do have to commit to doing these exercises. And if I'm tight on time, what I usually do are just deadlifts and squats. And if you just keep doing those two, your core is going to be sound, because the reason why you have back pain, lower back pain, and all that stuff is basically because your core and your hip and your caboose, all those pieces are kind of loose. And by doing deadlifts and squats, it's going to help that tremendously. And if you do it right, it's basically a whole body exercise. You can find a trainer for that or whatnot. But essentially, working on the exercises that's going to do a lot of good for your posture is going to complement the change in the workplace environment in terms of the efficiency and comfort a lot. If you're interested in checking any of the stuff out that I mentioned in the video, then feel free to check it out in the descriptions below. I'm going to drop some links in there. And if you're interested in purchasing it, then just get it there, right? And if you do decide to, they are affiliate links, so it will really help me in my channel as well. Do you have any extra tips? If you do, feel free to drop in the comments below. I always welcome comments to my videos and further insights, because honestly, who can't work more ergonomically? We could all use a little bit of extra help. And if you like this video, give this video a like and share it with your friends if you found it to be really valuable, I guess. And click subscribe for more in the future. Take care, everyone.